What's up? This is Release Rotation. I'm your host, John W. Snyder. It's Friday. The last 4 games of the Sweet 16 are tonight. Last night, we had 4 games. Duke beat Arizona. Alabama beat BYU. What else? Texas Tech, Arkansas went to overtime. First overtime game of the tournament. And it did not disappoint. It was fun. It was great. That was a good game. And so it was a good time last night. There were some good games. The other one was Florida, Maryland. Florida pulled away at the end. Duke also pulled away at the end, and Alabama cruised, I think, for the most part. But Arkansas blew a 16-point lead to Texas Tech. That game went into overtime. Tech won. I picked Arkansas. If you listened yesterday, Arkansas was who I picked. I was wrong. There's 4 games tonight. So the remainder of the Sweet 16 to figure out who goes to the Elite 8. Number 6, Ole Miss plays number 2, Michigan State. Number 3, Kentucky against number 2, Tennessee. Number 5, Michigan against number 1, Auburn. And number 4, Purdue against number 1, Houston. So what this leaves us with now is we are guaranteed there will not be a team seeded higher than 6. So Arkansas was the 10. Ole Miss is 6. And then we've got Michigan at 5. So what's crazy, the teams who won yesterday, Texas Tech plays Florida tomorrow. That's 1 versus 3. And Alabama versus Duke, 1 versus 2. So we've got that going tomorrow. And then tonight, the other thing that could happen, Michigan State plays Ole Miss. So if Ole Miss wins that, they'll be the highest seed left at 6. But if they lose, you've got still 5 seed Michigan, but they're playing Auburn. I think Auburn wins that. So really, and then Houston plays 4 seed Purdue. We could just end up with all 1s, 2s, and 3s in the Elite 8. So not sure the last time that happened when we had 8 teams seeded that high. It might not happen. I mean, there's definitely could be some upsets, but the Cinderella story and the mid-major story for this year, obviously mid-major story ended before the Sweet 16. But even, Cinderella, the only one left that could be maybe considered a Cinderella team would be Ole Miss, but they're still a 6 seed, and they've got Chris Beard as their head coach, who's a great head coach. So Michigan, they're good. Obviously, they won the Big Ten championship. And so this is what we're left with, a bunch of the top seeds. And so it could just come down to 1, 2s, and 3s. And that's fine. In a way, that's technically how it's supposed to work. As a fan, it's not fun. You want to see Cinderellas. You want to see teams that were not expected to be there. But looking at it the other way, in the end, if you end up with just 1, 2s, and 3s in the Elite 8, kind of did what it was supposed to do. So, I don't know. I would love to see Ole Miss upset Michigan State, but man, it's hard to count out Izzo. I feel like Izzo is a lock for the Sweet 16 every season, basically, and then even the Elite 8. So, I don't know what's going to happen there. I want Ole Miss, but Michigan State, I'm looking, they're favored by 3.5, which isn't a lot. So that could be a fun, good game. Kentucky, Tennessee. Tennessee's favored by 4.5. And then Auburn, Michigan. Auburn's favored by 8.5. And then Houston is favored by 8.5 over Purdue. I think Houston and Auburn win. I think they cover as the 1 seeds. Tennessee, Kentucky, I think is a throw-up. Toss-up? Throw-up. But I think that either of those teams could win. They're both, similarly ranked. Kentucky's playing good at the end of the season. And that's what's important, right? At this time of year, you want to be playing good at the end of the season enough to get into the tournament and to keep advancing. So that's it for the tournament tonight. Should be some good games. Should be some fun games. I hope to catch those later. My son plays basketball, and he's got a game at 5 tonight. So I'll miss some of the early games, but that's okay because I'd much rather watch my son play basketball than some college kids I don't know. That's NCAA. Let's talk NBA real quick. So if you've been following the NBA and you saw the news today that Shams reported that the Memphis Grizzlies have fired their head coach, Taylor Jenkins. Here's what's crazy. The playoffs start. There's only 9 regular season games left, and they fired their head coach. What I'm seeing in the reporting in the story is that they feel like maybe he's lost the locker room, and they're trying to mitigate what could happen in the playoffs, which, man, that is rough to get canned with 9 games left in the regular season. Also, the Grizzlies are in the 5th position right now in the West. And so, their last 10, they've gone 5-5, so they're not finishing strong. I mean, they have a 500 record coming into the last 9 games. Or the last 10 they've played, they're 5-5, so 500 record there. Not sure what's going to happen in the next 9 games, but I don't know. I think that's wild to fire your head coach with 9 games left in the regular season, and you're the 5th seed. So, not sure the thinking, obviously. Don't know what's going on there. Don't know why they made that decision. But, man, if I'm a Grizzlies fan, I'm kind of confused and like, what is happening? Is there other things going on in the locker room or behind the scenes that we don't know? Could be, could not be. It could just be they don't like how he's coaching down the stretch. So, seems wild. We'll see what happens. They could still finish. I mean, with 9 games left, I'm looking at the standings. I mean, they could finish anywhere from 4th to 7th, maybe, depending on what happens. I mean, 3rd, I don't know. Denver's got to lose some games. They've got to win some games. But let's look at who they play the next 9 games. Let's see. I want to see what happens there. Where are we at? Schedule for the Memphis Grizzlies. They play the Lakers at home, Boston at home, Golden State at home. And then at Miami, at Detroit, at Charlotte, Minnesota at home, at Denver, Dallas at home. I mean, just looking like with my eyeballs, the eyeball test, they say lose to LA, lose to Boston, lose to Golden State, lose at Miami. You could lose at Detroit. You could lose against Minnesota and lose at Denver. So I feel like the only games that they really should win are against Dallas and Charlotte. So they could only win 2 of their last 9 games, or they could be surprising and everything's fine and they win 7 of their last 9 games. But that's just such a weird deal to do with 9 games left. Anyways, I know I've said that enough times, but man, that's rough. That is rough. I'm trying to think if there's any other big news going on. The only other thing I saw was Deion Sanders. He got an extension at Colorado through the 2029 season. 5 years, $54 million. So what is that? That's almost 11 a year. Oh, there we go. So according to the contract, Sanders will earn another $10 million in 2026, 11 in 2027, 11 in 2028, and 12 in 2029. If Sanders accepts another coaching job before the end of the contract, his buyout would start at $12 million if he left on or before December 31st, 2025. And then it goes down from there. But wow. So that's big. So I like Sanders at Colorado. I hope he stays. It's fun. It's good for the game. I think he's a decent coach. Colorado is fine this year. So we'll see what happens there, but that's big time for Colorado and for Deion. So hopefully he can stay and they can do some things in Boulder. That's all I have today. It's Friday. I want to get out of here. This is only like a 10-minute podcast episode, something like that. Let's see what we're at right now. Where's my time at? Okay. Oh, there we go. Yeah, 10 minutes. So I hope you have a great weekend. I don't know if I'll be here over the weekend doing a podcast or not. We will see. I'm trying to get back into the swing of things, doing this more regularly because I like talking sports. It's fun. I enjoy it. And we've got some other big things coming up. We got the Masters coming up. We've got the rest of March Madness. Like I said, Sweet 16 tonight, Elite 8, Saturday, Sunday, and then Final Four and Championship next weekend, next Saturday, Monday. So there you have it. Be good. Have fun. Be safe this weekend. See ya.